See what it be like?
Let's see what... I love seeing what it be like. I love seeing what it be like.
Oh, God.
All right. I ain't got no music playing. Do,
I
do,
want to hear the music that
do.
they
You
get.
can't stop. Oh, man. Dun, dun, boo, doo. What's up, family? Bear with us for a minute. While we...
What was that?
It was a critter.
No.
Oh, man. I'm sharing over here real quick. Oh. Let me see. Alright, do this real quick. I was about to mess it up.
Edit that shit.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. That I can't to go over that list.
Me neither.
Oh man. Da 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 da. Boom boom. Let me see. Here we go. Almost done, family. So what did you think about it though?
The list that you just sent me.
Yeah, just I mean in general.
I thought it was kind of shocking a little bit to see what the 5 were, because they're simple, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
They're things that I feel like should be happening in a good, solid relationship, you know.
But they're not.
I think sometimes people make it more difficult or harder, or think that men's expectations.
Get it right, women.
Yeah, women think that men's expectations or what they want is really like unattainable, but that list was like amazing.
Yeah, I got something to go with that though. I guess something to go with it. Alright, here we go. Alright. It's not popping up, so what I'm gonna have to do, go in. I should have did it. There we go. 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 Magic, man. Magic.
What did you take when you went home?
I didn't take anything. I got cleaned up and I got
a second wind.
Oh, I'm gonna sleep good tonight. What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Candid Conversations. I'm your host, Marc D, aka Mr. Candid, aka Break Your Dreams and Steal Your Hope. Next to me is Amanda Sword. Oh man.
AKA Pearl.
AKA Pearl. AKA Elizabeth. AKA. Oh man. Welcome back, family. We just enjoying ourselves, man, before we get this show on the road. Because we know some of these topics can be difficult to have, especially when it comes to expectations, standards. And y'all know, I've said it before, I dislike the term expectations. I really do. Because a lot of our expectations are Bullshit. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
Garbage. You know, and it just most of our expectations, I've said it before, most of our expectations, our standards have been created out of the big three, is what I call them. Fear, ego, and insecurities, which are normally birth out of lack. So, just, I mean, jumping right into it. I know normally you know what? I'm just gonna run through it real quick. Always do the promotions at the beginning of the show, and the acknowledgments of different entrepreneurs and business owners. So I'm gonna get into it real quick. Giving a shout out to my sister, Aries Owens, and her book, Hear Me Out. Also giving a shout out to the brother Ethan West and his business, West Wheels. His motto is the curb always wins. So y'all know y'all got those chips on y'all rims. Go holler at the brother, inbox him, DM him to get your free quote. He'll let you know in Northeast Ohio. He'll let you know what he's able to do and go from there. Also giving a shout out to the brother Rodney Dukes and Polish Him Off. You can follow Polish Him Off over on Facebook and over on IG at Polish Him Off ADC. You're gonna have to turn that on. It's getting out.
Good fan.
Yeah, just went through it. Also, giving a shout out to the young brothers, Fred Council Jr. at FC on the Beats. Also giving a shout out to the brother Megadon 216 at Surf Club 216 over on IG. Go and follow him and y'all show y'all love and support for the people that I put in front of you. Also, Miss Candlemaker, Selena Garcia. You can inbox her if you're looking for a particular scent or a candle. And just go and support her. All right, now back to the conversation. What is it that women are really looking for in men? Because we know a lot of times the expectations that a lot of women have just unrealistic. A lot of women, and especially in today's society, they want old-fashioned men, but they're not old-fashioned women. So, you know, tell me how that works.
Me?
Yeah, you the woman in the room.
No, I mean, I think honestly, it's simpler. I think it's simple, but I think we let a whole bunch of distractions and other people and other things get in the way in our relationships and in what we want. And so, so like I said, you know, earlier, I kind of did, you know, I had fun with this. I did a little research. I kind of wanted to give some different perspective. So I got like 3 generations. Okay. So I asked like a 16-year-old and then me and then a 60-year-old what they wanted in a man or in a relationship. Okay, so clearly the 16-year-old, you know, it's a boy at this point, but I mean, it shocked me a little bit because it wasn't that far from mine in a couple of different things. Someone who isn't soft is what I was told, and is, you know, so in my version of that is someone who's the rock, someone who kind of like takes the lead. But I think a lot of times that gets misinterpreted as people were like, well, I don't want to be, you know, well, taking the lead if it is done right, and if everyone's best interest and the end game or the goal is you're taking the lead and you trust him that the lead he's taking you on is a path that's good for both of you. So I think that, so that's mine, you know, that was mine. Whereas like just really being able to trust and have someone be that rock for you. And have your best interest in mind, and you know, if they say this is our next move, this is what we're doing, like 100% I'm on board. As long as it's not, you know, like I said, as long as that control aspect necessarily is, you know, is not there, where, you know, because control is different. You know, if you're controlling someone for, you know, for gains or benefits for just yourself, or, you know, for things that you know, issues you might have. So that's completely different. So I feel like, so the 16-year-old said, you know, someone that's not soft, that, you know, you can trust and has your back. The 60-year-old said, someone who's kind, and someone who you can kind of just have a conversation with and feel like you can talk to them about anything and know that your opinion and what you say isn't going to be like shot down or anything like that. So more of a companion, I feel like, at that age, a little bit more. But yeah, so those are some of the different takes on the relationship and what the different ages are looking for. So for me, I feel like the rock aspect is what I said, like I said. And I feel like that's hard, though, because we say we're looking, and I'm guilty of it, because we say we're looking for that, you know, this rock, and I mean, someone who kind of comes with that isn't going to most of the time give you a soft and fuzzy side that I feel like we are thinking that that's what we have to feel, you know, to have our insecurities met, or have our, you know, like you had said, what was the three, ego and different things like that. I mean,
fear, ego, and insecurity.
Yeah. So I feel like when you truly have someone who has that rock mentality and that, like, that, you know, leadership, and their goals are, you know, are set with where they want to take their family or their relationship, you're not going to find someone who is going to necessarily be there to be like, you know, all sweet and you look nice today, or you this or you that. They might give it to you in a different way. You just got to figure out what it looks like for them. What? Don't do that.
Oh, man. So basically nothing.
That is not what I said. You always do that to me. That is not what I said.
Oh, man. So let me ask you this. All right. Teenagers, we're going to move them out the way. Mm-hmm. So, a woman that is in her 20s, and so outside of so outside of having a man that's a leader, so that's pretty much what you want.
Yeah, I mean, take charge, a leader, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, but take your opinions and what you want, what you bring to the relationship, and lead, you know, that everyone is going to benefit in the end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So here's the problem that I have with what you said. Personally, I don't think women even know what they need. I mean, it's easy to run down a laundry list of things that you want, but when you get what you need, you have no clue what that is. So this is why I said, you know, when it comes to a lot of women's wants, is an old-fashioned man, is a man either like their father, if their father was in their life, or their grandfather, you know, the men in the generations before. But here's the problem with that. A lot of women today are not the women of generations before.
No, because I mean, a lot has changed, and a lot of and roles and everything, like, from then have changed. You know, I mean, you'll look at relationships now where you have some where the woman works and the man stays at home. So I mean, you know, like, people's homes and relationships differ from what works for them. So a lot has changed from generations ago to now.
Yeah, more masculine
Yeah.
traits and character. Men today are taking on the bitch role.
Yeah, but if someone set up their life to where it makes sense, or the woman essentially makes more money,
It doesn't make sense. And here's why I say it doesn't make sense. A man needs purpose.
No, 100%. I'll give you
The
that.
home
Yeah.
is not a man's purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man becomes Sally homemaker, he is being demoralized. He's being demoralized. Don't ask me to be my father or my grandfather when you're not going to be my mother or my grandmother. It just is not going to work that way.
No.
So I gave you a list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because looking at this list, I'm like, so the list that I'm looking at, family, it's from FeliciaShelton.com. Y'all know I always cite my sources, so that's where I got it from. I was actually looking at the top 10 characteristics that women were looking for in a man, and it got tiresome.
10 is a lot. It's a
It
lot.
got tiresome. So I was able to find top 5, and of course, we speak in generalities here on the show. Nothing is in absolute. One out of 5 may resonate with you, and I'm sorry, because if you're looking for a man, that's got all this shit together, know how to put it down, building something, then that means you might not be it. You might not be it. And so, because we're going to get into what men are looking for in women. And some things, of course, women will say, I knew it, blase this, blase that, really a bunch of nothing. But they can't do it. A lot of women can't do it. It seems to be difficult for them to.
I find that hard because, like I said, we talked a little bit.
Shit, it's hard for a lot of women.
No, I know, but I'm saying
But we're not on that. We on women. We on women. So, affection. What does affection even look like?
That's what I'm saying. It looks different. Like from a man, you're saying like
no,
I'm saying a woman.
A woman that is looking for affection from a man.
From a man, yes. I'm saying. So one man's affection and how he gives it is going to be different from another, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to know that man. You got to know how because maybe he didn't grow up getting affection, or maybe he grew up getting a phone call every night, or getting something else, or getting you don't know. Maybe his affection was completely different than what you grew up thinking. Completely different than what you grew up thinking.
What if his affection is smacking you on the ass and telling you to go in there and make him something to eat? That's how he shows affection.
Okay, then you gotta maybe you gotta communicate. Okay, so I'm saying you gotta know that. Obviously, you're gonna get to know someone before you get to the point where you're living with them and he's doing that to you in your home. So you're gonna know that about him, and you're gonna be able to either adapt, adjust, or maybe you guys can come up with a little bit of a...
I call bullshit.
No.
And here's why. Because women want affection the way they want affection. And a lot of women are not concerned in putting in the work to learn the man that is in her presence.
No, and
she wanted the way she wants it.
Yes, and I'm not gonna say you're wrong on that, because I 100% believe that is how a lot of women go into it, which is why I'm saying you got to understand that man and how he shows affection, because I'm guilty of, there's times when I'll be like, oh, I wish I could, take this part about this person and this part about that person and put them together and you have a perfect man. But what makes them what makes one man do this and one man do this or act a certain way is really like what makes them who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't act that way because of how they were raised and grew up, and so obviously other things that they do is going to be different. So what makes them who they are, you know, and sets them apart, you don't, I mean, mixing, you know, that's not realistic. So I'm just saying I'm guilty of that. If someone's lacking affection the way that I want it, then if they gave me affection, then they might be lacking something else.
Okay, so what does a perfect man look like to you? Because I promise you it'll be different part. What you just said that you're guilty of, you still do.
Yes.
Because I promise you, all the best characteristics of all of your past lovers, in a woman's mind, that is her perfect man. Mm-hmm. I've always said that he does not exist.
No, you're right, he doesn't.
And if that one man exists, he's not looking for you. And I'm not saying you in particular. No. I'm just saying the women, you know, and so that's why I always say this word expectation. The honorable late great Dr. Miles Monroe, you know, he had a infamous quote. It says that expectations breed disappointments, because and in saying that, the expectation that you put on another individual, and a lot of times women are more guilty of it than men. Mm-hmm. You have this fantasy in your head that was never discussed. We talked about that last episode, you know, where women will have this gigantic, ridiculous, outlandish fantasy in her head, and looking for a man to be her Prince Charming, her white knight. Men love to be Captain Saberhawk. Especially beta men. Mm-hmm. Alpha men is like, all right, well, if I'm not what you want, fuck you.
Yeah, there's 10 more just like you.
Exactly. So, and the more income, the more resources a man makes, the more his possibilities open up. So, we've had this conversation. We've spoken with others about this. You know, it's hard. It's difficult. Mm-hmm. So, you said, you know, one of the things, so, affection, conversation. I don't want to talk to you after I put 10, 12 hours in.
Okay, yes. And I mean, this is called, you know, Candid Conversations, and I can't sit here and say, you know, I'd be wrong to sit here and say, you know, that, you know, to not be completely open and honest about, you know, about the way that I've approached situations. And one of the things that I struggle with, and that I've always struggled with in a relationship, is I struggle with silence. And so, like, I feel like, and we talked about this actually earlier today at lunch, I feel like sometimes if there's not a conversation happening, or if just you know, just us sitting there or enjoying the, you know, the TV or enjoying whatever together, like, if there's not a conversation had, then I almost take that as like, you're not having a good time, and I'm not, like, my company is not, you know, doing for you what it should. So I struggle with that.
As most women do. Most women struggle with that. And ladies, here's the thing. Your presence will be much more enjoyable if you shut the hell up.
I knew you were going to say that. I almost said it for you. I really almost did.
It really would.
I know.
You know, and because a lot of times, y'all talk about nothing. You just rambling on at the mouth. Like it's almost as if you have to say something.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying, but for me, it's more so like, if I can get out, like, I mean, I want to know, like, I mean, I genuinely want to know how you know, whoever I'm with, like, how their day is, or how.
Not while I'm watching football.
No, I know. I'll sit there and enjoy football also. Like, I'm cool with that, but I'm just saying, like, like that makes me happy to know, just to hear about how your day went, or anything that maybe happened, like, you know, during your day that, you know, you want to share, whatever. Like, I want to engage in that and hear about how your day was. And so that question and that stuff in itself is stuff that, like, I'm not just talking to talk, because I genuinely want to know. Like,
and most men get that. We do. It shows us that you're not selfish, you know, and that you are concerned about us. Now, the man that sits up there and throws up on his woman, my thoughts is there's a lack of respect that she has for you. If she sits and she sees you as one of her girlfriends, she doesn't respect you as her man. She looks at you as one of the girls. You know, and women can't handle the pressures of the workday that men go through. So to sit up there and spew everything to your woman that you've gone through, that you have to deal with, you know, the employees, or, you know, your business partner, the co-workers, you know, at your job, or the boss, the management, and you throw all of that up on her, she doesn't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for a man to do it, to me, is a weak man. You know, you shouldn't be, the conversations that you should have with your woman is, like you had spoke of earlier, the direction that you're going, the instructions that she needs to help you in your direction, for the benefit of that union, you know, and moving forward, you know, but man issues, man problems, that's what you go and talk with the fellas about. You know what I'm saying?
And that's good to know. I mean,
yeah, because a woman will always give you, even what she thinks is still going to be emotionally based. Men, the way we think, we compartmentalize everything. So our conversations with one another, if we start talking about feelings and emotions, we're going to clown the fuck out of each other. Like we really are. Like, dude, are you serious? Like, man up. All right, cool. You hurt. Cool. Understand that. You invested in this. All right, good. Get up. Dust your hands off. Dust your knees up. Get moving. But women gonna sit up there, oh, baby, I'm sorry. That's not what he needs to hear.
No, you're right.
So with men, conversation has to be directional. Has to be. And this is why I know women get frustrated, because y'all will jump in an entire conversation, you'll jump from 15 different subjects. And we're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yep.
Well, you know what? You need to keep up with me. No, I don't. Like, no. All right, but I blame the man for not bringing structure to that conversation. Keep that conversation on task, but also give her the space in the room to express herself, you know, and I can repeat what the women that I deal with say, and only be paying attention half of the time.
Yeah.
So, conversation. That's what women want. Honesty.
We say we want honesty.
Do women really want honesty?
I mean,
or do they want honesty that fits her narrative?
Yeah, that's what yeah. I mean, because honestly, like, I mean, in a perfect world, yes. Do I want, like, but what's the extent of it? So I mean, it's like, I mean, if you're gonna tell me, you know, about something that, I mean, I'm gonna say that I sit here and want you to tell me everything. But if something, you know, happened that it literally was, it's gone, it's out of your mind, it's not even anything that, like, even means anything to you anymore, or it was like whatever, and then I'm gonna sit there and, like, literally dwell on it or hold it and make it ruin our relationship or make it ruin, you know, different things into where I can't get past it, but it essentially didn't mean anything to you, then it's not going to do anything productive to the relationship. You know, so it's just a matter of, yeah, I mean, I guess you guys got to figure out and talk with each other in your relationship as to, you know, what that looks like for you. Because, yeah, I mean, we say we want honesty, but there's some things that we're going to hear that we won't be able to overcome. That that in your mind was nothing.
So, then why ask for honesty then? If you don't want it 100% of the time, then why ask for it? I mean, I'd have more respect for a woman if she just told me, I just want you to lie to me about everything. As long as it fits my narrative. Build? But at least she's being honest.
Yeah, but I mean...
You know what I'm saying? Because... excuse me. There's a handful of women that truly know themselves. And if she knows, I can't take the truth.
Yeah.
Because
then I guess
I'm insecure.
Yeah.
So I can't take the truth.
Then that would need to okay, so if a woman came into the relationship like that, then a man would kind of have to decipher through the things that he then knew he could tell her.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling her to go seek counsel.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're the one that came.
You need to go seek clinical help.
But you're the one that came to the table and said a woman's gonna flat out say she wants you to lie to her. I mean, I'm saying that doesn't sound realistic because
it happens.
I mean, because I would not say that. I 100% would not want someone to lie to me, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, there's certain things that I couldn't sit here and say that, like, you know, okay, be honest with me, but there might, I mean, obviously, if you do something or if there's something that you're honest about, I can't guarantee you, like, what my outcome is going to be or what.
So, here it is right here. Women want honesty. So, if a man tells you that your head game and that you need to work on it.
I wasn't necessarily talking about that.
But honesty is honesty.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I guess I was spinning it or looking at it more as like if a line was crossed or something was done, you know, maybe outside of the relationship is kind of where I took it. But if you're being honest with a woman and saying that this needs to be changed or you know, this is where you're lacking in something, I 100% think that can be done in the right way. If you say it the way you just said it, it doesn't come across very, like, a woman's not going to want to respond to that. I'm speaking for women. I'm saying a woman's not going to want to respond. She's going to get a fucking attitude. You know what I'm saying? She's going to be completely pissed off then from that point you come at her like that. So I feel like if you approach it in a different way, you still get out everything that you want to say, but I don't necessarily think that, you know, I feel like both parties can come together.
If you want honesty, I'm gonna give you the truth.
And I want the truth, but
I'm gonna tell you.
Then why don't you just say try this, try that? Don't just say I mean, obviously, if you're telling her to try something else, she knows that what she's doing isn't right.
Let me tell you something. I've gotten. I have been in the process of having sex with a woman. Her head game was garbage. I told her to stop. Tried to get the cutty. We into it. And I said, fuck. I got up, put my clothes on, and left.
There's that. I mean, that's one way to... But I'm saying if you're in a relationship with someone and you're trying to...
Trying to what?
I'm saying if you're
do you want honesty?
Yes,
do you want honesty or what?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm saying it's not just a random person
line
that you're not going to see again or anything like that. I'm saying if you are truly trying to.
No, I was in a relationship with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she asked me what happened. I said, wherever you learn what you learn from, it's horrible. Like, because here's the problem with honesty when it comes to women. Y'all have been so fluffed up that you want a man to be a man, Men speak directly and direction. We're not about to sit up here and pillow fluff our words and pander our words. Now, betas, they will definitely do that. But that's not the type of man that most women want.
No.
You want the man that's going to speak his mind, that's going to be brutally and bluntly honest. You just don't, most women just don't want it towards them.
I don't think it's that they don't want to. I think we honestly just don't know how to receive it, and we like. So I feel like things. I feel like, you know, time just has to happen and be invested. And I mean, I feel like sometimes, you know, that's a problem too, because we don't want to invest or put in the time or work a lot of times, and maybe we'll, you know, pull out faster than we should in situations. But I 100% think we, or most women that are looking for that alpha male, really do want to receive it. I just don't think that we truly know how.
And I'll agree with that. I blame the men in your life. I blame your father. I blame your brothers. I blame your uncles, because they pampered and they catered to you and they pillow fluffed words to you, instead of being men and showing you what a man looks like. Sometimes are there ulterior ways of saying stuff, depending, like with my daughter, the way I deal with women, I'm not going to deal with her 100% in that manner. But she said before, like dad is like brutally honest. Because my thing is, what, I don't save you from anything if I sit up here and pamper to you all the time.
Yeah, because that's
when
not
there's
what the world's gonna be like.
You want a man, you want a leader, you want an alpha. If I say something, that's what it is. Because at the end of the day, good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent, I got to deal with the end result. My father has always said, he's raised all of his children, you got to deal with the decisions that you make. And as a man, it's even 10 times worse. Because, you know, and that's why when it comes to honesty, that's why I said a lot of women only want honesty when it fits their narrative. Because especially a woman that's 30, 35, 40 years old, when she's had 90% of the men in her life cater and pamper to her and fluff the words, and he's a female with a penis.
No, yeah, and that's definitely hard to then correct. I mean, or to then, you know what I'm saying, to then, like, you know, change. When you've had that for so long. But obviously, if you're still looking at 35, all of those men that you had, they weren't what you're looking for. So you are ultimately looking for that alpha male, or that man who is that way. But sometimes it's hard to receive, or they're hard to receive. It's hard for them to receive you because
y'all run from us.
No, I don't believe it's running from you, but
y'all run.
No, I don't think it's running from you. I think it's like I said. I think it's just trying to figure out.
Because y'all don't know what y'all need, and that's why I say run. I don't even know who sings that song. She's a runner. She's a track star. She runs away when things get hard. A lot of women run from men because they don't know what they need. They want an alpha, but they end up falling for beta alphas or alpha betas.
And I don't even know that it's falling for. I feel like it's almost it's just accepting.
They fall for it because when dealing with reality, whatever concoction y'all have created in y'all mind, that is all reality. Men, we don't have a choice. We live in this reality. We stump our toe, that shit hurts. It hurts. But even though we bleeding, we got to put the Band-Aid on and go to work. It is what it is. That's the reality that we live in. Women can fall, and there's a cushion somewhere to help catch you when you fall. Mm-hmm. So the directness that men develop is because we had to mold our life through the fire. Mm-hmm. So sitting up here, I told E today when we was talking, I said, not what happens with women is that the moment that they start getting sexual attention is the minute that a lot of women stop maturing. And so what ends up happening, we have 30, 40, 50-year-old women mentally and emotionally, psychologically, they're still that teenage girl that they was when they started getting sexual attention. And men are like, what the fuck?
No,
because we're like, the path that I'm on, I don't have time. Like I had a young lady, we were in conversation, and one of the things she said, well, if he really cares and loves me, then he'll teach and show me. Not at our age. Not at our age. You better go and take up cooking classes. You better go and take up femininity classes. Whatever you need to do. If this is where you want to be, you better invest in yourself to bring value to my life. Because just because you have a yoni don't mean that you're valuable to me. Mm-hmm. And most men who have built their lives, and that's why I say, going back to the honesty of women that fits their narrative and their reality that they've concocted. If a man tells you, you don't bring value to me. Well, what you mean? That right there. Argumentative, mm-hmm. combative, non-submissive. Instead of asking, you know what do you see in me that brings value to you? If it is nothing, then I need to go and work on myself even more. Amanda knows, and people that know me personally, I'm direct and to the point. Like, I don't have time for the games. I don't have time for the charades. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. So make sure that before you ask, you really want to know. Because I'm going to tell you, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to cut. But at least you can say that I respect you enough to, mm-hmm. to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I honestly do think that is great, because I mean, you truly know whoever asks you the question, or whatever they're asking, you know exactly where you stand or what it is. Like, mm-hmm. you're not going to question or wonder. And if you get, a compliment or something is said, like, whatever, like, I mean, that's what it is. Like, you don't have to worry that your feelings were being saved or anything like that. So if it's all, truth at all times.
And we know financial support, family commitment.
Yeah.
Women, they're attracted to men who, are family oriented. Support, of course, that's just in a woman's nature to look for a man on her level or better than her. I think the problem with that a lot of times is a lot of women are unrealistic mm-hmm. in the type of man mm-hmm. that they're looking for. Because if you make 40,000 and he makes 45, he's doing better than you. But what I'm finding out is that expectations that a lot of women have, they're actually looking for men in the top 10, 5, and 1%. They have access to 90% of the women. So you have to fight with 90% of the other women to get the top 10% of men. It is what it is. But let's go to the fellas, to the men's. And after we, I'm about to blow through this list, and I'm about to actually move some stuff around because the first one is the reason why. I think that women have a problem with who men really are, because we have men in general have done this, because there's another list that me and you had talked about earlier.
Yes.
And I'm gonna show y'all what a beta male looks like. But this list, the top 5 for men, top 5 characteristics for men: sexual fulfillment, recreational companionship, an attractive mate, domestic support, and admiration. Now, I agree with those top 5. I would rearrange it, because sexual fulfillment is what beta men have put on a pedestal, and this is why women have a problem with men being men. And this is why a lot of women don't even know the value that they bring to a man, is because a lot of women have gotten by on their looks and their yoni. You know, so Sean had not last week, but the week prior on the show, he had mentioned pretty privilege. And so, an analogy, shout out to Fresh and Fit podcast. Which one is it? Fit had gave an analogy of a candy store. And I found it intriguing because looking at reality, it's true. So the analogy of the candy store that Fit gave was that there's a candy store and everybody can enter, but women, because of their looks, can enter into the candy store at 18. And so from 18 on up, they get to try the different candies and they get to figure out what they like. And, you know, they eat the Tootsie Roll. I don't like the way this tastes, or I don't like the texture in my mouth. Or they go over the Jolly Ranchers. This is too hard. So by the time they're 30, they've had all of these experiences. Now, men are unable to enter the candy store until they're 35, until they make a certain amount of money, and until they're in shape. But all the time while men are gathering all these things, the women are in the candy store having a blast. So women get to 35, and I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, and women like at 35, between 30 35, I know exactly what candy I want. I'm good. I don't need to try anything else. I've tried everything in the store. This is my favorite candy. By that time, men are just getting into the candy store. They're going bonkers. They're going bananas. Women are looking at men like, what is the hell wrong with you? You know, you having a midlife crisis, this, that, and the other. But mind you, you've been in the candy store the whole time. Men had to wait until they're 35. They had to accumulate a certain amount of resources, and they had to be in shape. So you're done having life experiences. Men are just starting to have their life experiences.
And also get to pick from 18 and up.
Get to pick from 18 to 35. Which do you think a man wants to pick? A 35-year-old woman who's experienced everything? Or an 18 to 23-year-old woman who has very little experience, and he is her very first experience. Men are like, I get to choose from 18 to 35. I'm going with the less combative. I'm going with the less argumentative because she hasn't experienced anything. So the things that I do for her is going to be much more appreciated. A woman that's 35, she has a laundry list of things of the type of man that she's looking for because she's experienced so much. And men are like, I don't want a war veteran. Because
that's a good way to put it.
At our age, we're war veterans.
Mm-hmm.
We have all types of wounds, all types of things, unhealed traumas that a lot of us have gone through and never dealt with. And we want to deal with, a man doesn't want to deal with another war trauma individual. Mm-hmm. You know, and unfair, of course. But men accept that. Mm-hmm. Men accept that women can go into the VIP and we can't. Like, prime example, Ethan gave. He said, you know what, you're right. Because when women are 18, they can go into the club, and depending on how their body looks, what their face looks like, they get invited to the VIP. We're trying to make sure we have enough money just for a few drinks. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to pay for a drink for a girl, we got a 1-2 drink minimum. While these older guys in the VIP room with 18-year-old girls, 23-year-old girls popping bottles. So those same 18 to 23-year-old women are looking at 18 to 23-year-old men. Why can't you do that? What? I haven't gone through hell to get that yet. And then what happens, that's why I went with women first. Women say this is the type of man that they want, but when they get that man who has that potential, they don't want to go through the process they run. I ain't got time for this. Fair. Understandable. Rightfully so.
Yeah, I think
because your biological time clock is ticking.
That's what I was going to say.
What, 35
so
geriatric pregnancy?
Yes. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, the whole dynamic and process is just, the whole thing is just really hard to operate through because of all these different things we stated and all the different steps and stages that men and women go through at different times. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, I just think the whole thing is just hard to navigate through.
Not for men.
No,
I say that because we accept it.
Yeah.
So the first 10 years of our adult life, we'll kill ourselves to obtain a certain level of resources and status so that we can have these options. If we don't obtain it between 45, 65 years old, this is our life. I put in the work, I put in the grind. You know, if I'm not a business owner, entrepreneur, I've retired, I've gotten my pension, I'm good. Mm-hmm. And whatever lot in life men get, they'll put in the work to upgrade themselves. You know, and our thing is, if we're going to date somebody our age, you better bring more value than a 23-year-old to the table. But if your characteristics is still the same of a 23-year-old, why the fuck wouldn't I want to go and get the 23-year-old? I don't want to come home and argue and we the same age.
Yeah.
I don't want to come home and you talking about, did you do this? Why didn't you do? You know what? I ain't got time for it.
No. No, and that's, I mean, going back to that list, like, honestly, like, I mean, I know you're going to go down to the other ones, but I feel like the list in itself is not unreasonable at all. Like, I feel like all those things should be things that are being given to a man.
How many times do you hear have you heard some woman or women say, I mean, there's sexless relationships out here.
Oh, I know. I've heard about plenty of them.
And if that's the dynamic, my question is she okay with him going outside of that relationship to get his needs met?
I'm sure not, but
Of course,
I mean, I'm sure not.
And that's why I said it, earlier, and I want to read this list.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read this whole list. It's 25 points, but this is why I say this is a beta male or beta men who came up with most of this stuff. And no disrespect to single mothers out there, but this is a direct result of a boy being raised by a single mother. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Oh no, I mean I was just touching base, honestly on the list of the 5 wants or needs that a man has, because honestly, I mean, I feel like, a couple of them were like, they're recreational things and stuff like that, and I feel like, I mean, shit, if I get it, I mean, that's part of what I like about you, you know what I'm saying? If I start to date someone and I learn about them and I figure out what makes them happy, and if going and doing, some extracurricular activity or meeting with their guys or playing poker or playing, a sport or whatever, like, that's part of who they are, and I'm not going to take that from them. And shit, I mean, and if I'm asked to join or watch or be a part of it, like, I mean, that would be what we do together or something that we enjoy together. So I would never take that away. So I just find that list like kind of crazy to actually hear and see that those are the things that a man wants, because I feel like women make it a lot more harder than what that list really like was.
That's just in your nature.
Yeah. If that's truly, I mean, if those 5 things, I mean, granted, that's a list someone else made, but I'm just saying, if those 5 things are really, truly what a man, for the most part, would be happy with, then yeah,
but do you know
shocking.
do you know what those 5 things summarize into? Peace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cooperation, and submission. Give it to me when I want it, because I'm out here slaying the world. I don't want to. If your head hurt, turn over. I ain't got to look at you. Put your head in your pillow. I hit it from the back. When I'm done, I'll roll over and let your headache wean. And here's the crazy thing. You have scientific research, medical research, proving that sex actually reduces a headache. So, support, domestic support. I'm the leader. You cooperate. I'm gonna give you instructions. Follow those instructions. You don't understand it, ask question for clarification. We're simple. Cooperation, submission, feed us, drain our balls. That's it.
That needs to be on a Hallmark card.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so here we go. Now, this list was sent to me by Mr. Ethan West. Someone sent it, one of our sisters had sent it to him. And it's a list off of IG. And it's what's the page? Spiritual Word is the page. I agree with some of these things. Probably about 2% of them. The rest of it, one of the things that I noticed when looking at the comments and most of the people that liked it, it was women. It was all women. So, and I'm sitting up here, men don't talk about their feelings with their woman.
No.
We're gonna tell you what we think. When you ask us, how do you feel? Well, you know what? What I was thinking of was blah 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 blah.
What's your favorite saying?
I tell her all the time. You know what? We need to make that into a shirt. My favorite saying is, fuck your feelings, tell me what you think. You know, because you
We do let feelings get in the way a lot.
So, man, all the time. But that's why you need a man who's grounded and solid on his foundation, so he can lead and guide you through that.
100%. Yes.
So here we go. Oh.
You're not gonna read all of them.
No, I'm not gonna read all of them. But the title, it says, men are sharing the things they wish women knew about them. I don't know what fucking men y'all talking to. But not the men in my circle. Not the men that I speak with or that I connect with.
No, and to be honest, as a woman, I mean, when I listen to these, it's really not the man that I want to have in my life. Because, I mean, I actually had someone tell me one time, you know, like, if we're both equally emotional, like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So I had someone say, like, you know, in a certain situation, like, someone was so emotional where he's like, I'm normally a little bit more of an emotional man, but I couldn't be that because they were emotional for both of us. So I mean, the relationship cannot have both emotional people.
You know, the times in the past 10 years that I've showed emotion was when my great aunt passed and when my mother passed. They were important pillar stones in my life. So I broke down.
Yeah.
Outside of that, all right, shit, fuck it. It is what it is. I got to get to it. You know what I'm saying? And regardless of how I feel, it don't make sense for me to stay there as a man because I ain't gonna get shit done.
No.
That's why a lot of women don't get shit done.
Yeah.
So here we go. What man says this? Just because I'm not talking doesn't mean I'm not enjoying my time with you. The men I know is going to tell you to shut up. Let's chill.
Yeah. Just appreciate that I'm here. Appreciate that you're here with me. Honestly, is appreciate that you're here, or even like, you know, included and play your role.
You better be happy I even invited you.
That's what I'm saying.
We actually really want to be complimented too. A 60-year-old woman complimented me 5 years ago, and it still makes me feel good, which just shows how little we get compliments.
No, I mean, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but that list of the what men want, the fifth one was, what was it, Admiration
is different.
Yes,
it doesn't make a man feel type of way.
No, and that's what I was just gonna clarify, like the difference between, you know, two of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's hard to get. I don't even want to read that one. Oh, we aren't great with hints. Communication is key.
I mean, I'll agree with communication.
We aren't great with hints.
No, like when a woman beats around the bush and kind of, instead of just saying like, look, I didn't like when you did this, or I didn't like that, or if she's just him and hawing, or if she's kind of like, you know,
I'm gonna ask you, what are you talking about? You just said a whole lot of nut and narrowed it down. No, I'm just saying, a woman in general. Like, yes. What are you talking about?
Yes. But I'm saying,
I'm not about to sit up here.
If a woman's kind of like, you know, acting a certain way, or walking in the house, or doing something, and then she's trying to like, that's what he's saying.
No.
Yeah.
No. He's saying that if as a woman, if she hasn't had attitude, then you're supposed to pick up on the cue of why she's got an attitude. I know I ain't did shit for you to get an attitude with me, so I don't give a fuck. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not.
So I'm not about to sit up here and play 21 questions or who did it. No.
No.
That's why I said this was a beta. I really like to hang out with my friends, because I love them, not because I don't want to spend time with you.
I mean, we talked about that one earlier, and you know, someone said, I'm gonna go see my boys tonight, and I'll see you when I get back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's what it is.
No, I'm saying I'm gone.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gone. I'll be back. This one.
Was it the last one?
No.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna jump up.
Please jump to the last one.
Sometimes men just don't get hard. It's not you. It's many things. Please try not to take it as a sign of a lack of attraction or affection. Sometimes it just happens.
I'm gonna let you address that one. I don't know what it be like. I don't have that problem, so.
Oh my goodness, man. If I'm not aroused by my woman or the woman that I'm with, it is you. If I'm not hard, you gonna get it up? Let's see what that mouth do. Could it be stress? Of course. I'm gonna tell you I'm not in the mood. I'm not about to sit up here. Well, you know what? Here's the problem that I have. Men don't explain shit to their woman. Now, if you earn an explanation, that's a different story. I'm not about to sit up here and explain shit to you. When women say they want that, like I said, if that's the type of man you have, that's your girl man. That's not your man, that is your girl man. I don't want to have an hour and a half long conversation with you after I put in some time and work. Now if we chilling, I took a day off and we hanging out, we can chop it up and conversate all fucking day.
Yeah.
Then when we get back to the hotel, when we get back to the room, let me chill the fuck out. As men, we need to stop playing with women. I don't have time for it. I don't have the brain capacity. When you first met me, the look that I would get on her face at times, like I knew she wanted to put her hands on me. Like I knew it. It was all over your face.
I don't have a poker face.
She don't have a poker face at all. But here's the thing.
But I always knew that what I was getting from you was
from the jump.
Honest, and I never had to question anything. I never had to.
There's a level of respect that came 100%. With that. You have a lot of men out here who are, I call them betas and beta alphas. And the beta alphas are beta men who pretend that they're alphas, and this is why a lot of women get messed up. They get jacked up because they believe they're with an alpha man. They believe that they're with a leader, and they're with a girl man with a penis. That's who they with. And then you wonder why your girl has to take on masculine energy, or in her masculine energy, mofo, it's because you're not. A woman has to earn my vulnerability. You're not just giving it.
That's fair. Yeah.
goes back to the conversation, the last two episodes. A lot of women don't want to put in the work. They think that just because I am, you should just give me everything. You should just want to give me everything.
No, and I think, and I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not saying this is true or whatever, but
throw it and I'll knock it out the park.
I'm sure you will. I'm saying work equals time, and time is sometimes not necessarily what we have. So I think that maybe is a little bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying, where if you have to put work in something, it's going to take some time, and then to put in the work and then the time that you don't have a lot of. You know what I'm saying?
And I can fuck with that. But there's another two components that go with that. Because when you're younger, you're the prettiest. So things are just given to you. You don't have to work for it.
No, which creates a horrible dynamic.
Exactly. Then when you get older,
you still have that mentality.
But you're losing in value as far as your looks, as far as your sexual marketplace value. You're losing. But you still have those same dynamics that you did when you were younger. It doesn't work. So that's the first dynamic. The second dynamic is now that as a woman, when women get older, they've wasted so much time. They fucked around so much. Now they're like
scrambling.
They're like a chicken with its head cut off. And men are sitting back like, my process took 20 years.
Yeah.
What are you chaotic about?
Yeah.
You got what you wanted. Now you realize that's not what you needed. You just want me to fall in place? No, my process took 20 years. From 20 to 40, I had to work for it. I had to earn it. I had to get it out the mud. Just because you lost time, not my problem. Not my problem. And this is where you get women, fuck it, I don't need a man. You had suitors. You refused to fall in line. Because all of these men were giving you sexual energy. And the man that you had, all you had to do was be patient and work with him. You would have got, your investment would have paid off. We go back to the not fair, rightfully so. Men understand it, we don't care. The men who do care and who complain about it being fair, complain about, a lot of those men were raised by single mothers and they listen to their mothers complain about, oh, life ain't fair, this and that. I think the major problem is because outcome. That's the word that I was looking for. Women got the outcome immediately when they were younger. They expect to get the outcome immediately when they're older. And because even you said it, like, we work out in the morning together. And this morning we was getting it in. And one of the things you said, I hate the process. I don't want to do the process. I hate the process. But that's indicative to a lot of women in relationships.
100%.
I don't want the process. I just want the end result. Give me the finished man who's done 20 years of life, because that's what it is to us, 20 years of life. And we're looking like, nah, I'm good. And you're like, well, I bring all of this to the table. You do. And it's all baggage. Why do I got to deal with the shit that another man put you through, and then I gotta be held to a higher standard when he wasn't. What?
No, I know it.
I get no disrespect. I get a used product, but I'm held to a higher standard. My favorite saying, get the fuck out of here.
One of your favorite.
One of my favorite sayings. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Can we read the last one, please?
Oh, if this is not indicative of a beta male, I don't know what is. It says, finally, sometimes we want to be the little spoon.
I'm gonna give it from a woman's perspective. Let a man ask me the little spoon, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, like that's just not like that's not the man that I want in my life at all. I mean, granted, like we said, if situation happens, you roll over, you end up like, you know, kind of being in a certain situation. Okay, but if I mean, if you're literally asking for me to, like, you know, come up from behind you and essentially like bear hug you and make you feel, you know, like secure or in some type of way, like, I mean, what does that, like, you know, that goes back to, I mean, what does that then make me, like, you know, I mean, you're talking about the, you know, the masculine energy and the whatever, like, I mean, I want to be the one that feels, you know, little and that's comforted, like, in that manner. So I don't know what you got to say about it, but I'm guessing you've never asked to be the little spoon.
I've never asked a woman to fucking hold me. What type of men are women raising today? That it would even come out of a man's mouth to ask his woman to spoon me? Baby, can you just hold me? Hey, get the fuck up out of here, man. I've said it before. This generation of men and women are the weakest. And I know that my parents' generation said the same thing about us. We're Generation X. I know they looked at us and said, these motherfuckers is out of control. I know they did.
Yeah,
I know they
every
said,
generation kind of looks down at the next,
yeah,
because things have changed, obviously, in a generation, so much time.
Technology weakens each generation. It dumbs down each generation. The smarter we get, the less intelligent we become. The less emotionally mature we are. Like, I see in so many relationships where the roles are reversed. You have women like walking around in masculine energy, like, shorty, lower your shoulders. It's cool. Like, oh, I get it. You ain't never had a man in your life. You've had adult boys. Because if you walking around, you have to be your security. You ain't never had a man in your life. Then I see the characteristics in these men's face, and they're so effeminized. And it's sad because whatever the plan was to create single mothers, it's working. It's working. Because these boys today are soft as cat shit. They're soft, man. And you can tell when there's not a masculine male presence in their life. because you can have a male presence in a boy's life, but there's a difference from having a masculine male. But this is what we got. Men who are asking to be spooned. Oh my goodness. Fam, I'm gone. We're gone. On that note. My goodness. I know that the live stream was a little janky, but the playback will be crisper. I'll make sure that's up tomorrow. Because all of the full episodes won't be on YouTube. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss a full episode of Candid Conversations with Marc D, make sure you go to anchor.com or log into your Anchor app and just search Candid Conversations with Marc D to make sure that you never miss a show. We will be going back. I will be going back to doing Friday night shows as well from the home office, because we need to really be talking about man shit, and that's what I want to start getting into to finish out the month of July. It is men being on their square. So on Friday nights, we're going to deal with that. Because if, as a man, I posted a clip from one of our previous conversations, and it was titled, "Are Men War Ready to Lead in a Relationship?" And a lot of men today are not war proven and war ready. So when things go to shit in their relationship, they don't know how to be the leader. They don't know how to be the example. And it's falling on the shoulders of our women, and it's time out for that. Mm-hmm. So we're going to deal with some topics concerning men to close out the month of July. And hopefully, I can get some of the men out there war ready. Even if you're in a relationship, you're looking for a relationship, or you're in the process of being in a relationship, we're going to work some things out, family. And as always, we're going to hit it spiritually. We're going to hit it in a healing sense. And as always, in a relationship sense, as just being a fucking man. Point blank, period. That's what it's going to be. So tune in Fridays for those topics and those conversations. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to hurt some men's feelings. I don't give a fuck. I'm coming at y'all. We're going to grow up. We're going to grow up. And we're going to lead our families accordingly. The relationships that we're in, we're going to lead them accordingly. And we're going to get it together. But until Friday, family, appreciate y'all. Support everyone. Support Aries in her book. Support Ethan at West Wheels. Support Rodney Dukes at Polish 'Em Off. Support FC on the Beats. Support Megadon 216. Also Surf Club 216. And Selena Garcia. I don't know why I want to call her Gomez.
I don't know.
Selena Garcia. Support everyone, family. Like I said, the playback will be crisper, so y'all be able to go and watch that with no problem. But until the next time, deuces.